Assalamu alaikum. I'm Rahimuddin. So we will be in the we will be discussing our next second video. In this we will be discussing on power station practice, and in the previous lecture or video we can say that there is a problem with regarding addressing the classes on this type of things. Okay, so we also have some issues regarding the vocal when we interact with the students. It's a new way for us also. Okay, in the last lecture we have discussed on the things which we will be going to study in this subject, and each subject have been discretized regarding the power system units like generation, transmission, and then distribution. And then each we have discussed each unit, that whichever what unit discuss what. So here we will be presenting our unit 1. Here we will be discussing about different power plants, and then we will be discussing on the prime 3 power plants like thermal power plant, hydro power plant, and then nuclear power plant. Okay, so we will be more focusing on our conventional power plant energy sources mm, rather than the non-conventional source of energy like wind, hydro, and thermal and geothermal. So what we will be more discussing on the past rather than the future. Okay, and what makes us feel on why we have moved from thermal to why we are moving from conventional to non-conventional sources. Okay, so first we will discuss on power generation. So power generations are of two types: conventional power generation and non-conventional power generation. Non-conventional power generations are considering have an example of wind, solar, geothermal. Now, geothermal is one of the term which is coming to you in a picture. Like some of the parts that produces internal heat, heat from beneath the earth. This is called geothermal energy. Okay, so first is non-conventional energy sources, and these sources, why these do have some advantages and these do have some disadvantages. We all know about its advantages regarding your regarding environmental aspects and regarding the sustainability. Like it will exist forever as long as the earth exists. So no doubt these do have advantages for futures, but there are some disadvantages and which we need to improve regarding in the new research point of view. If you tell that we need to improve, we need to develop some techniques to use their data and convert those disadvantages to advantages. So first is like it has a smaller capacity. If you check about the ratings of wind power, solar, so capacity is very small. Regarding capacity, what does capacity means? You can define capacity on if you are talking on electrical terms, you can define it as power ratings, megawatt, kilowatt, and you can define on the basis of voltage. So power stations generally are categorized or are rated under power and voltage only. Okay, so if you could observe the ratings, I will be giving you the different power plants ratings. So I'll be discussing on the basis of power rating, megawatt, and especially I will be discussing on real power, not the reactive power. Okay, so these powers, wind energy, solar energy, geothermal energy. These generating stations have a very small capacity and has a very short interval of time. Here short interval of times gives you that wind energy will be present only when the winds are blowing, and solar energy when the lights are there. Obviously geothermal when the heat beneath the earth is there. Okay, so these have some limitations regarding the availability, so this can reflect in the time intervals. Okay, no doubt it has a small capacity also. Next is the location. These energy sources can be located near the consumer because it does not affect the environment so much that so we can have location like wind energy can have you can plant wind energy in small village areas. You can plant solar energy at the terrace, and you can directly utilize your energy directly to your home. So these are the on the location wise, these are very much located near about the consumer point of view. And one more point of view is that these don't affect the nature, as well as these don't affect your health. These don't affect health issues also. Okay, so health point of view, these are there. Next is the weather constant, as we have already discussed in point one, that it has a shorter interval. Shorter intervals also reflect in weather condition also. If the weather is unwanted weather, says if the wind is flowing very high, typhoons are coming, so you won't allow your wind power plant to operate because it may damage your wind power plant. So to avoid it, you will stop there. And the next point of view is, if the wind is not there also, if it stands still, you can get that energy also. It's regarding similarly with the solar power plant, the intensity of the light depends on the plant also. So but there are new techniques in solar power plant that it has changed the solar power plant to a quite a bit level, that even though small intensity of light is there, you can work on that. So if you could have visited our power system lab, there is one of the solar plant is there, and it works on the light of our light sources, bulb light also. Okay, so if in future, if we can meet physically, we will definitely show you on this solar plant there. The next is so weather constants are there. Next is the when while converting these energies to electrical energies, we will be using asynchronous generators. Okay, so asynchronous generators are, what are asynchronous generators? The stators have a speed that is called synchronous speeds, and the stator rotating field, the stator field actually rotates. Stator does not rotates, but stator field rotates. The field which rotates, those that field is called as synchronous speed. So the rotor speed and the stator speed has differences. So if those there is a difference, those are called as asynchronous generator. Okay, so we will be using induction generators and DC generators in non-conventional energy sources. Regarding the distribution network, as I have in the previous lectures, we have discussed on the networks which power system possesses different types of networks, like transmission networks, distribution networks. So excuse me, so those networks are there. So here if you are talking about solar energies, if you place a solar stations or at your terrace or anything, you can get those energy directly to home without supplying it to the transmission. But right now there are different methods that have evolved, that transmit this energy, this solar or wind energy, directly to the grid. So they feed directly to the grid. So there are lot of improvements in regarding your inverters. Various types of inverters are there which have transformed your these energies, and it can directly connect to the grid. So if you are not using transmission network, it is called as off grid. Okay, so here solar, wind. These don't generally don't use right now transmission lines, transmission networks. Okay. Next is the capacity. As I have already discussed in the first point, that the capacity is very less. So the generated voltage which you are going to use is less than 11 kV. Okay, so there's a right now it can have an improvement. And it is improving day by day. So the generated voltage is 11 kV. Okay, next we will be discussing. Next is the why we have changed from conventional to non-conventional. It's just because of the affection to great affection towards the nature. The but the even though this conventional energy affects our nature, it has advantages overall. So what are the advantages here? That it has a bulk power capacity. So this the capacity of conventional energy sources, thermal power plant, hydro power plant, have a very bulk power capacity, and it exists for a longer interval of time, longer period. If you can say that it's 24 by 7, the power which comes directly. So it is unaffected with the weather conditions, it is unaffected with the what you can say, the nature. So if there is if there is coal availability, there will be thermal power plant. If there is water availability, there can be a hydro power plant. If there is availability of gas, nuclear power plant and gas stations can be there. Okay. Next is the location wise. If you are telling that these conventional power plants are located outside outskirts of the cities, and it is generally located where the density of population is very less, because regarding the risk of life and risk of health issues also, because these power plants are generally producing elements that affects your that affects your environment. Like thermal power plant affects produces ashes, and these ashes, when it flows to the air, it degrades the air quality, and it may leads to health issues. Similarly, when you are talking about nuclear power plant, it is very hazardous right now. You have heard about Fukushima power plant disaster in Japan, and then you have heard about Chernobyl disaster in, I think it's in Kiev. Okay, so there is these are the locations where there is a great disaster regarding. Regarding the location wise, it has been located outside. Now, as far as the weather constants are there, I have discussed that weather, no, it does not get affected by weather, even though it's a rainy season, even though it's a bright light, huge heat energies are heated, and there are there, even though it's windy areas or cold areas. If this is situated there, it will work, it has no problem regarding weather constant. Now the generators which we are using, it's synchronous generator, and that's why there is a complete chapter and special machines. In machines you have heard about synchronous generator. So advantages of synchronous generator, you as an electrical engineer, you should know the applications of these generators and motors, where you are applying generally, why you are reading these things. Okay, so you have to focus on these parameters more. So synchronous generators are used in conventional plants, as I have already said, that the stator field and the rotor speed, both are equal in synchronous generator. Now as far as the transmission purpose are there, it requires both the transmission and distribution networks. As we have seen, I have given an example that in Maharashtra, there was there is a area in Pune and Mumbai. That belt has lot of industries are there, and the generations are in Nagpur. So you can say that the power generated is there, and it has to be transmitted to the industrial areas for their for those purposes. So it's like we require transmission network for conventional energy sources, and as far as distribution networks are there, if you are transmitting to the consumer level, industrial level also, and consumer level, we require distribution network. Now, as regarding the generated voltage, it is generated in 3 kV, 6.6 kV, 11 kV, 13.2 kV, 18.2 kV. Right now I am discussing about generated voltage. I am not discussing about transmitted voltage. So there is a difference between generated voltage and transmitted voltage. So transmitted voltage is of the transmission line. These voltages are stepped up via using transformer, and then it is transmitted. Okay, so if you are talking about transmission line, those transmission line voltage you might be hearing of 18 mega volt also. The ratings 1100 1100 kV transmission lines have been rated at 1100 kV. Okay, so generated voltage is from the generation side, just out the output of the uh, generator. Okay, so and I am especially focusing on the values right now: 3.3, 6.6, 11, 13.2, and 18 uh, regarding it, because you are electrical engineer and you should know these things. Okay, ratings is important. You must be talking on ratings. Okay, uh, this is the picture of a thermal power plant, and this is 4760 megawatt, and this is in Madhya Pradesh, Singrauli, and it's India's biggest. And in the last video, I have discussed about the world's biggest power plant, that is 5788 megawatt, Taichung in Taiwan. So this is India's biggest power plant. Now, as per the thermal power plant is consist of, there are different units of thermal power plant. Now, I will be going deep on this thermal power plant. I will be discussing some points here, and then we will be continuing it to the next slide also. So here, if you are checking about thermal power plant, thermal means how we are generating energies. We are simply taking heat. We are simply taking charcoal. We are taking, on a simple words I am telling you, we are simply taking coal. We are burning the coal. We are putting water in a can, and we are heating it. Okay, and those heat, we are heating that water to steam, to so that it can make steam, and that steam is again superheated. Okay, now that steam is again fed to the turbine. Okay, and that superheated steam, if we are putting it to the steam level, so that steam is then fed to the turbine, and then from there we we rotate the alternators. But after producing that steam, and after heating to the turbine, those steam is not wasted. Okay, the heat of those steam will be utilized for heating the incoming water, which you are going to heat again. Okay, and though the heat of that steam is again used for heating the air of the incoming air, which you require for burning the charcoal. So this is the method we are using in thermal power plant. Now, so there are different units like coal and ash handling unit, which handles everything regarding coal, as well as decomposition, as well as decomposing the ash or the byproducts. So simply telling that the thermal power plant has a boiler is not correct. Okay, there are different units. Don't regard it has just a boiler. There are different, and the boilers are of also two types. There are water tube boilers and there are fire tube boilers. Okay, so you should know that there are two types of boiler. We will discuss in next lecture definitely on what are water tube and what are fire tube. First, what we should know, what are the handling units. First is the coal and ash handling unit. As I have told that this handling unit deals with incoming of the coal and outgoing of the ash, okay, from the power plant. Then there is a steam turbine. After the steam is generated, after the water is boiled, after the steam is generated, after the steam is superheated, it is fed to the steam turbine, okay, and that steam turbine has a separate unit. Then these steam goes to the alternator, where the alternator needs to run the rotor part. From the then we need a feed water, and there is a cooling arrangement. What feed water does, the incoming water which is coming to be heated and to be converted to the steam need is called feed water, and these feed water must be converted to preheated, or must be at least have a boiled energy. So what we will be using the outgoing heat, outgoing steam, as I have already explained. That steam should be used, or that steam heat superheated steam that have already went to the turbine and it is coming out, those the heat of those steam will be used to heat feed water, okay. Next is the cooling arrangement. This cooling arrangement does not just reflect about cooling the outgoing heat, it also reflect about the arrangement to heat of the incoming air, the incoming air which is required to burn the coal. Don't worry if you are getting confused, discussing clearly on this. Now this is your charcoal or coal and coal handling plant. There is a boiler. Now there is a turbine. Now there is a bus bar from the alternator, and there is a river water. So basically here, if you are talking about coal and coal storage and coal handling plant, here the coal is coming from the uh, from area in India. If you're considering these are coming from the belt of Odisha, then West Bengal, Jharkhand, some parts of Bihar and Chhattisgarh, the belt that are closer to West Bengal, Bay of Bengal. There is a seashore if you look at the map of India. So from there the coal is coming, and these coal are coming, and these coals have different grade of coal. So the grading of coals are based on the heat it produces, a unit amount of coal that we are using, and then we are producing the heat from that, and the ashes, or the what you can say, ash, the byproduct which it generates. So the grading of coals are there. So India imports coals from Australia, some of the countries that produces good grade of coals. So there are different grading of coals also. So Australia has good quality of coal, and that produces large amount of heat with small quantity of coal. So we are using cold storage for storing those, and we should know which quality of coal which we are using and which we are producing. These are the work of cold storage. And these storage, once the coal has been transported to the power plant from railway, from bus, from sorry bus, from truck and everything, these coal has to be of small size. Small size means we you can't use large bulky coal, or bulk big blocks of coal for heating, because the surface area is very small. Regarding the surface area, uh, if you have smaller coals, if you break down that big block into smaller coals, this is called as pulverized coal, okay, pulversed, pulverized coal. Now this pulverized coals are very advantageous regarding heat. Now this pulverized coal have more surface area. Once the surface area is more, for heating, they will produce more heat and they will require less air. Okay, so that is the coal handling plant does. What it does, it checks the size of the coal. The large blocks of the coal is then pulverized to small blocks and then it is fed to the boiler. Now as far as the outcomes from the coal, outcomes from the boiler is these are ashes and ash handling plants, and these as you can say that the ash which is coming out from the boiler, this should not be directly fed to the environment or that directly dumped into the environment. These need to be treated. Okay, and these are the byproducts for, these are the primary products for cement industries also. So some of the cement industries buys these ash to for their uses, so they don't go waste. Okay, so this is the part that this cold storage and ash handling plant works on. Okay, so today we will be ending here, and inshallah next video will be uploading soon, and we will be discussing more on boiler, and then we will be discussing on turbine. Okay, okay, thank you. Allah Hafiz.